Hello, my friends, and welcome back to our continued blind Let's Play of Homestuck for the PC. My name is the FlightlessBird. This is our story-based gaming channel, and today we're once again on page 7486, where we are confronted with 8 groupings that we will be discussing. This purple thing doesn't seem to work, so I think the best thing we should do is just go from left to right. We did this one before, so we'll do this one. And then this one, then this one, then this one, this one, this one, this one. I think if I do it like that, it'll be easy not to lose track. I'm half tempted to do like a randomizer and just roll a dice to see which one I do, but then we may lose order. And I don't want to make sure, I want to make sure we don't miss anything because it's very easy to not know that you clicked on something when there's 8 possible choices if you do it randomly. Yeah, let's go ahead and begin, shall we? I hope you're all having a wonderful, fantastic, amazing, awesome day today. We're here with Roxy, Rose, and Kanaya. Go ahead and start with them. The thing about Roxy and Rose is they have essentially kind of the same voice. And, I mean, that's just a problem that you're going to have when you have so many speakers, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make Rose sound a little bit more precise and Roxy sound a little bit more just like super energetic. Yeah. We'll see how that works. Haha, I'm sorry. Sorry about what? For staring and all being a god-grinning idiot, I just cannot actually believe you are really here and alive and not dying, and so am I here with you. I mean, and plus sharing all these mentioned attributes. I can't believe it either. I have so much to say, I think, even though I can't think this stuff at the moment. I know what you mean. I hope it's okay if I just sit near you, not be specifically articulate for a bit. That is more than okay. As long as you're willing to similarly excuse the spectacular demise of my capacity for artful self-expression. They're so adorable together. OMG! You're like Dirk. I mean, you're Dirk. Wow, I just caught it. Wow. You sound so much like him. Oh my god, that's super and cute. Dirk? I can't get over how now I can't unhear it. Even your voice kind of sounds like his, but it's just girl Dirk. Wow, LMAO. Wow, yes. He sounds like a heck of a guy. Oh, you have no idea. Well, I'm told he should be arriving here in a little while. If he's anything like Dave's later older brother, and if he's anything like me, which he apparently is, then this is when I'm guessing the real party will begin. I'm ready. I want to know things about him, such as if he shares his elder counterpart's avarice for soft puppet butt. God, no. And if that, combined with his myriad, vaguely and suddenly psychological peculiarities, could occupy a dedicated team of therapists for years. The answer is yes and yes. Knowing this amuses me for some reason. But mainly, there are things I want to know about you. I presume there'll be plenty of time later to hound my biological father for the dirt on his proclivities. What do you want to know about me? Everything. I think the main difficulty in deciding what to ask is in sifting questions I would have for my mother. That is to say, the woman who raised me, from the questions I have for you. Well, I didn't raise you or anything, but I could certainly take a crack at both kind of questions. Okay, do you really like wizards? Rose? Yes. Rose? All the dots? I really love wizards! I really like these two. I see. As odd as it sounds, that actually does go pretty far in letting me know something about you. Oh? My relationship with her was complicated, but I've come to see that is mostly my fault. I was too young to understand her. I never even got the chance to misunderstand my mom, or grown-up you, I didn't get to misunderstand her in person. More like a legendary figure, cause like, I grew up 400 years after she died. Right. I think I'm going to have to call the contest early. Yours is a more interesting biography, by quite a lot. Not really. Not to me, at least. I was lonely. I thought about her a lot to pass the time. She was amazing, at least according to history. She wrote heck of books about wizards and wrote a genocidal fat man down a waterfall of blood. She wrote heck of books about the wizards. Yeah, they were famous and good in everything. It sounds like I fumbled into the wrong leg of work. There's no money in the suburb business. Well, there is. It just comes in incredibly stupid denominations, which are not particularly useful. Do you have copies of these books? Yeah. Yes, I do. There are copies back on my planet. Assuming John didn't, like, wreck on them white like a book thief and sneak. I would really love to read them sometime. If you wouldn't mind. No, not at all. By the way, this is Kanaya. Sorry for the combination of bad manners and general dumbfoundedness which precluded a more timely introduction. Hello. Hey, that's a nice name and you're also really pretty. Thank you. I admire the aesthetics of your name and appearance as well, and in no small part due to their respective similarity to your daughters. Wow, man, that was somehow both a convoluted thing to say, yet smooth as heck. I'm impressed. Welcome to Medium City. Population, a whole lot of great remarks like that. But yeah, I'll get you those books. They're great that they made me want to write my own wizard books. Did you? Yeah, sorta. Could I read them? Hey, you got to read mine. Yeah, but you were like an old pro when you wrote yours. They are freaking masterpiece wizard fics. Like, they won Pulitzers and stuff. Did they? Did they really? I don't know. Probably. Oh, I don't know. They're just very, very good. So the ancient prize scholars, I'm sure, were like, dude, these wizards are very, very, very good. Give them all the awards. They'd shut down the awards. But not because of the looming apocalypse, just because you literally cannot do better than these wizards. I can live with that. It's always been one of my professional goals to write tales of magical men so provocative they could cause a permanent and unceremonious dissolution of at least one prestigious award. So yeah, I don't know, I guess you could see. But Sabelle goes to a story compared to yourself, and it's also, kind of weird. I like weird. Yeah, just your opinion means a lot to me, and I'm nervous you might think it sucks. But I never even wrote those masterpieces you read. I think you may have a view of my abilities, which I haven't earned yet. Really, I'm not that good. I have my own story drafts, which you can read if you like. They're nothing special, frankly. Oh, really? Oh, man, okay. But that sounds fun. Look at Smiles. I love Smiles. If during your manuscript exchange you need someone to read over your shoulder, say to proofread, or to purge each sentence of punctuation and capitalize the first letter of every word. Yes! That's amazing. I'd be happy to volunteer. Strictly professionally, of course, and not because I really want to read your wizard things too. I really want to read your wizard things too. I hope that's okay. Yeah, sure, it's okay. Kanaya? Sorry, me and Rose are babbling away here to each other. We don't mean to be excluding you. It's fine. I am thoroughly enjoying my role as a spectator. I know that Rose has been looking forward to this a lot, and that she receives similarly vicarious and politely passive enjoyment from the interactions I had with my ancestor. So now I will just resume the politely passive part of it. Haha. Gotta jump in whenever you're feeling it. I love meeting new trolls, well, at least when they're not evil or something. Love them not evil trolls like the cranky one over there in the rad baby shoes. Terezi. Yeah, she's a boss. That's a pretty fair way to describe the attitude of anyone higher than me on the human spectrum. But yes, you are right. Oh, also, at least we forget Dear Fafetta. Fafetta. Do you mean Faferi? No, Fafetta! She was a dear precious soul. She was my sprite. Guess she never happened in this version of stuff, though? Dang it. That's sad. What made that quite as sad as her existing, then exploding? I'm confused. Wonder what even else is different? Well, you died too. I did? Yes, well, push me out of the way of a fork. So thank you for that, retroactively. And to a different version of you. Jeez. Yeah, I had a really similar thing happen in my timeline, also involving a fork. And even though you're okay now, it's still almost too sad to even talk about it. Yeah, we did get to exchange even a single word before you were gone. All I could think was, how can this be happening again? Luckily, the scene of misery was short-lived, though. It wasn't long before I was informed the incident was part of something bigger taking shape, and that John was on his way with a different version of you. I had no idea what a different version actually entailed, but I wasn't about to quibble. I was so relieved. Same, although instead of waiting for you to come back, I had to jump through all these hoops with John and went through some different stuff. I may have thrown an impromptu funeral for your all too dead body. You did. Yep. Sorry if that sounds weird. And I knew I was coming to meet a new version of you, but it like helped me with like feelings about people I left behind. A funeral. Well, that. Huh? Sorry for this if it comes off as odd, but that is so mom of you. Oh yeah? Mm-hmm. I like your mom. Me too. I don't mean to be too analytical, but I'm getting to know you really. I guess comparisons are a little hard for me to avoid, since the adult version of you played such a significant role in my life. So I can't help seeing the similarities when you are there. But also, you are so clearly your own person, shaped by your own experiences, and as a person I would prefer to get to know, rather than a young avatar for the memory of a departed parent. Yet this is a context which somewhat inexplicably colors my perception of what you reveal. So while some observations are in the vein of predictable charmingly, so mind you, others I regard as surprising. What about me surprising? Well, you don't quite seem like a person who, uh, huh? I don't want to ask anything that would sound rude to you, so I was spiteful to her. Because I don't really feel like conflicted about this anymore. Particularly since I have my own troubles with it. So it would be pretty hypocritical. Conflict about what? Let me back up a little. It was a long ride on the Meteor. One experiences changes over a few years, given it a lot of time to think about it, changes and such. About halfway through, I started thinking more about mom and about you. Knowing that I'd probably meet you and, I don't know, live up to the experience. It's silly, but I'm guessing you understand what I mean. Huh? Basically, I was just nervous. And it was all mixed up with feelings of conflict and remorse over my mother, who to my hazy fleeting recollection never wasted a day of my life on sobriety. She and her habit put all these days to be quite effective use, actually. And I don't even quite remember the thought process that led to this, but I sort of ran with it. The habit, I mean, for a while at least. I was so distraught about losing her and wanted to understand her, to connect with her in some way. And I guess that was the only idea I had. And on some level, I think connecting with her was also a way of preparing myself to meet you, even though that probably makes no sense. Since you aren't literally her and you don't share all her, I guess I should be speaking to you though. So you're saying you're surprised I'm unlike her in that way because I don't seem like someone who would get drunk off her butt all the time? Um. Well, I guess you'd be flattered if you really think so, but you're wrong. So, you. My story's kind of like yours. I had a mom I never knew and wanted to feel closer however I could. I grew up mostly unsupervised in an old house, and it had all this old stuff in it, plus some old blues squirreled away here and there. And I just started to even though I was way too young for that stuff, like whoops. And like I said, it was a bit light on discipline around then, and it's not like a bunch of silly pumpkin eaters were gonna stop me. Pumpkin eaters, chess guys, loads of them. Huh. But yeah, I wanted to be like her and do what she did, but mostly like just make a hot catastrophe of myself. I doubt that is what she wanted. At the time, it seemed like a cool thing, a really intellectual and mysterious book. Celebrity would also leading an awesome guy and secretly subvert his life in that position of tyranny. But I think what is more likely is she knew the whole world would end and everyone would die. So no matter what she did, which was probably hard to live with, I don't know if I could blame the old lady for wanting to get me a wee bit sauced after a couple of rapping clowns was a presidential election. Yeah, I wait. What? Clowns? It's a long story. It's a bad story. Just, please continue. Oh, yes, I am sure my mother knew the end was coming too. Knowing that helped to put a lot of behavior in context for me. I was always too young to understand. Poor moms. Poor adult dead sexy lady us. Truth. But anyway, back to us. Kid alive, sexy lady us. Yes, it sounds like your Rose had an incredible career. But all things considered, I prefer being kid alive, sexy lady me. Agree. I know what you mean about being nervous about meeting you. I mean, maybe nervous isn't quite right, but when I started thinking about meeting you, it's when I started thinking I should try being not quite such a mess. So I started taking the idea of cleaning up my act more seriously. Ultimately, I concluded the same thing. I decided it wouldn't be a very dignified way to make an entrance. Or for that matter, a very constructive way to help out in a struggle to preserve reality. Luckily, I was able to cut it out a while ago. I admit, it wasn't easy. But it helped a lot to have people around looking out for me. Poke? Huh. Sits poked. Yeah, I had a lot of friends help me too. I couldn't have done it without them either. I never had IRL friends before this trip. It's interesting to observe the various ways they apply themselves to your benefit. Some people are around to make you feel like you're worth sticking with, even when you screw up. And some people are around to kick your butt to make sure you don't. I think I had to play the ladder role to my friends a lot, and also myself, I guess, who kicked your butt. Was it the yelly guy over there? No. Crockett was mostly preoccupied with his own shenanigans. That's what I say about Homestuck. If you want to describe Homestuck in one word, shenanigans. The yelling is deceptive. He's a rather private person. Friska, however, she really is quite an extravagant witch. LMAO. But it turns out people like that tend to have some convenient assets, such as a sheer force of personality to keep a bunch of idiots from falling apart. Don't get me wrong, it's quite annoying, but useful. Yeah, I probably should have been more of a witch to all my peeps. Maybe we wouldn't have gone to jail and died. Let it be a lesson to us all. Oh, he's looking over. Seriously though, it's so nice hearing your stories, especially the similarities of stuff we experienced. Wizards and writing and mom stuff and even bad things we went through. And obviously we're similar by DNA and all, but even so, it still feels comforting that even if you flip the universe upside down and change it all around, pull us apart by centuries, kill humans off, flood the world, we're still connected to each other in a mysterious way that goes beyond genes and circumstance. And that I think is some tight freaking noise to consider. I'm considering it right now, and yes, that noise, it is so tight. Huh, huh, huh.
Hey, what are y'all talking about over there?
Dang it, Dave.
Aw.
Alright, so we have completed story 1. And next up we have these 3. I remember your voice. Boy, you're Tavo Spite. I have Tavo Spite. Let me take a look to see what I can find. No, I could not find a list that I have for Tavo Spite, so we're just gonna have to either give him a new voice or try to make a new voice, or hopefully don't give him a voice that's already been given to another character. But you know what? There's so many characters in this game. Hopefully you can oblige me if I screw one up every once in a while. Tavaspite, is it okay if we pretend to have a conversation over here for a while? So that I look busy and not come off as a big of a doofus as I feel like. I can oblige and also personally identify with that idea and the feelings of self-lameness behind it. But I could also help you with a real conversation too, instead of a fake one. In fact, maybe we already even said enough words together just now for that to qualify. Ha ha ha! Ooh, Tavaspite. You have always been the one ray of light shining through the clouds in what has otherwise been an emotionally stormy game experience to me. I am so grateful that you found it into your ghostly bosom to drift over to Lomax now and then to cheer me up. Often enough to give me a real pick-me-up when feeling blue over friend problems, but just seldom enough to feel like a rare delight when you did. Yeah, I was under strict instruction from Vriska to do not interfere with the timeline much for lots of months, so I did say hello often. She helped me be back alive, so I owed her that much on one hand. But on the other hand, I think she was doing her bossy thing for the sake of just telling what to do. And I didn't see how much just being friendly sometimes was even changing the timeline much, or why that idea even mattered. Because it seemed like most of you all here never did much important stuff anyway. Haha, it's true. More tip-top wisdom from that sage bull-headed noggin of yours. Why do you want to be pretend talking, even though it's real, and look busy to your friends? I'm just not up to all this socialization yet. Maybe I never will be. I feel at ease talking to you, but all these others, I don't know. It feels really awkward, and I think I lost most of my prior bravado due to a lot of bad things that happened with my friends. What happened with them? I just messed up with everyone in a lot of ways I'm too embarrassed to even talk about. And now I just feel gutchy about everything, I guess. Even polite conversation with fun new people I should be thrilled to meet. I couldn't even set things right with my buddies now if I wanted to. Jane is asleep, so I can't make amends with her after she became an angry robot and punched me in the gut, and jailed me and threatened me with eternal marriage and baby making duties. I mean, sure, she was brainwashed when she did all that, but I'm sure I did some stuff to deserve it. Dirk is still way off somewhere, so I can't address that whole spicy meatball, which I still feel terrible about. And Roxy. Well, okay, Roxy is right there, but look at her. She's having a blast with all these people she actually really likes, and who are probably actually likable. She probably wants nothing to do with me either, so I might as well do her the courtesy of leaving her alone. But isn't she waving at you and saying hello right now? To do almost certainly to do overhearing you talking about her name? Hi, Jake. Oh, yeah. It would seem she is. Those are probably pity waves, though. I don't think that is true. I happen to get her almost exclusively. The pity versions of various deeds directed at me, and I think that's not what she's doing. Those are normal waves and hellos. You should probably do one of those things back to her. Hi, Jake. Jake? Jake, dang it. Hi. Oh, sorry. Hi, Roxy. You're with us again, and I like that. Ah, nice, nice, bro. Keep working at behaviors of that sort. Your self-esteem will get bigger. I like that. Thunderations, what a clod I am. I really need to keep a lower profile. Even basic pleasantries are a bit above my huckleberry for now. I get it. Self-esteem is probably the hardest emotion to master. It helps to have help. And I appreciate it, Mr. Tavaspite. Really, I do. No, I mean not for me. Did you have a fantasy phantom representing your self-esteem who you can look up to? A phantom? Because I did once, and it really helped. And then it became real and really helped me, but not because I believe in anything, just because of coincidence. He happened to be my ancestor. Well, yes, I suppose I have something like that. A brain ghost of my friend Dirk who visits me sometimes. I guess he represents my self-esteem, but I don't know how helpful he actually is. Why? Because of all the consternation that my relationship with real Dirk has caused me. He says all the right things to make me feel better about myself. But when he visits my brain, I never actually feel them comfortable or good about myself. I just feel kind of weird and truthfully spend most of the time hoping he just goes away and hopefully knows that too because he's my brain, and that makes me feel weirder. I see. Your brain is complicated then. I'm guessing it's because you're some sort of genius. Really? Yes, absolutely. I have a sense for those things. Gosh. Maybe instead of listening to the upsetting words of a complicated brain ghost, what a brilliant mind like yours needs is something simpler. Like listening to the nice and flattering words of a real friend. Maybe you're right. Not related to that, have I mentioned? You're actually quite handsome for a human. Wow, you think so? Also, you have a really dashing personality, and you seem pretty strong, and your pretty, very small pair of creamy-looking pants is really cool. Holy cow, you're right, Tavaspite. These nice observations about me, why, they really do seem to be making me feel at least infinitesimally better about myself. What a chum. This is only the beginning of the feel-good feelings you can force inside you, through the repetitive mentioning such things about you, but also through developing yourself as a brave, alive hero. It's too late for me to do that, since I lived a weak life, died, and was lucky enough to have a friend with a good enough heart to bring me back. But only as a spiritual guide, such as the one flamed before you. So I can't be that heroically great anymore by tragic definition, but you can. You're living, so strong, nice, and of even higher importance, immortal. So that gives you, by my estimation, literally forever to get better and better and better and finally prove yourself. That way you can win your friends over and everyone will like you again. Boys, stuffing howdy. Huh. Just imagine, from hobbledehoy to hero. Wouldn't that spiffy predicament just razz my berries? Tavos, would you leave that poor kid alone? What sort of nonsense are you telling him? Nothing. Oh, bull. You're filling his head with lies, aren't you? No, it's just a basic conversation, not about any topics you're probably going to say you disapprove of.
So weird how, like, he ends the sentence in a comma. Hey kid, what's he telling you? What's your name again? Jape? J I J yes. Sure.
No, it's not J. Wrong.
Whoever cares, you overly simplest human names all so like to me. Anyway, listen, Jape, whatever load of stuff he's telling you in a misguided effort to cheer you up, don't listen to him. It's all about your happy delusion garbage. It's not going to let you down easy. And someday you realize it's the biggest favor anyone's ever done for you. You're never going to do anything important. You'll never amount to anything, period. Neither is Tavos.
Wait, no, I'll hold on now.
No, you hold on, Tavos. You have more than enough chances to prove you could be a reliable contributor to our venture, but you blew it at every step of the way. It's time to face the facts. You're never going to have the big moment that vindicates your arc of a personal development. It's just never going to happen.
No, I know that. I just admitted that. You weren't listening to our...
It's not going to happen for Japes here either, so stop filling his head with nonsense. I can just smell it off him. He's just like you, really. A loser is a loser.
Mm.
Here's the bottom line. Pages just suck. All of them do. They just can't seem to ever get it together. I think it just happens to be the class players get it stuck with it. They're naturally that sort of person. It doesn't mean that they don't have value as people, but they'll never have anything significant contribute, so they really should just stay out of the way. There's certain quiet dignity and understanding are utterly crippling limitations as an individual. Ideally, a very quiet dignity, so the important people can still hear themselves think.
Okay, but what about all that big page potential?
That's also a lot of misleading bull. And really kind of a cool stipulation of the class, to be honest. It makes losers think there's actually some light at the end of a long tunnel, so it keeps them dreaming of facing the facts. Sure, they can reach all their potential, they worked really hard for a long time, but don't you get it? The very nature of what they do prohibits that. They don't have what it takes to take it to the end because they're too weak mentally. So it's just a game plain and nasty chick on them, like dangling a carrot at the end of a ridiculous long stick. Only a butthole would only play along with such a vicious hoax.
Arg! No, any form of friendship, encouragement, no matter what, it is universally great, I think. We all learn this as a fact from stuff of things we see and enjoy and stories and stuff.
Oh my effing god. No, tell us right. She's right. She's right.
Vriska, look what you did. You made my friend Jape sad.
Call him Jape.
Don't listen to her. And come here, buddy, for a reassuring embrace.
Tavos, don't you dare touch him! Remember, you only prototype once. Do you really want to fuse it to an eternal monstrosity with that weenie? God, what a weenie singularity that would be. Maybe I should stand back and just let it happen. For science also would serve you right.
Oh, yeah? Well, get a load of this. Actually, no, you're right, of course. I won't hug him because that sounds really, really bad. Sorry, Jape.
Poor guy. Oh, that was a really sad ending there.
Man.
Terezi and Vriska. Let me try to track times for my video so we can make sure I get chapters in. There we go. Vriska, shouldn't we get back to our strategy meeting soon? Yeah, pretty soon. It's like we used to say in the old days, time is dead, kids. Believe me, I haven't forgotten. As as true as now as it was ever, only difference is that now we're working together to prevent the bodies from piling up.
Ah.
We still have a little time before we need to get serious, and anyway, when you manage your team, you need to silence things, balance things.
Gotta keep morale up, you know? And when you say serious, are you talking about defeating the Huns?
Well, the troops have been itching for a real good fun moment like this for a long time. As a competent leader slash power gamer extraordinaire, it's impediment on me to recognize that and cut them a bit of slack, give them a little place to remember what they're all fighting for, you know?
Yeah, great point.
We could do the same, you know? Over the last few years, we've had so many great times and buried all the old hatchets deep enough that I think it's easy enough to take a relationship for granted. Doesn't hurt to remind ourselves how lucky we both are and how close we come to going in completely different directions. Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad this is the path we chose. I couldn't ask for a better morale.
Me neither. I don't know how I would have lived with myself if I had gone through with it. And we'd be dead if I hadn't. Thank God for Egbert. Never, never, never tell him I said this, but for a door keys. Just let's say you did a great job training him once upon a time.
Hey, so did you. Some version of yourself was batty enough to write down all those instructions in her own blood just before she died. Sounds like a real hero to me. Ah. Sometimes I wonder what things would be like if we never had a falling out. It was like a lot of this back in the old days, remember? Just hanging out, working together, how much drama, except I guess for the occasional ethical dead? Unfortunately should be dealt with. Deb? Date? Death? I don't know what a DE and 8-8 is. What if I never spiraled out of my control? If I never blinded you? If you never blew off my arm? What if you decide to send John back to change all that instead? I didn't write the instructions myself, but I'm sure I never considered it. Everything we went through back then made us stronger. It was something to work with to put behind us, not... I swear, sometimes I can't understand what they're saying. ER4S3. So 3 is an E. Erase. There we go. It was something to work to put behind us, not erase something that was worth the effort. Yeah. Yeah. Haha. Shoot, blather, blah, blah, words. Blah, blah, tactless, nincompoop, shoot, ramble, screed. Blah, blister, boom, blah, blah, gossip, hungry, lobotomy, hobbits. Shout, yell, screech, holler, apprentice, gushing, yammer, thwats. What the heck is all this? Oh god, what's he going on about now? Sounds like he's yelling at Dave and John about something. So John's been here for all 5 minutes and you already tripped Carcat's tyrant siren? Where am I at? Darn it. He's not actually angry, he's embarrassed about something. My ear is finally tuned to all the drum nuances. Embarrassed? About what? Think he might actually be bent out of shape or the fact that he's not leader anymore? No way. It's something very personal. I wonder if John's been asking what the deal is with him and Dave. John was pretty nosy, if I recall. I think it's more likely Dave is just rambling Sod's filter again. Yeah, he does do that a lot, doesn't he? As long as you're swearing each other to secrecy on stuff, make absolutely sure they don't know I said this, but he and Karkat are kind of adorable. And whatever quadrant that whole situation is held in, I don't know. It's I guess it's none of my business really. I guess I never should have guessed. Agreed. I guess we stuck to ourselves mostly. So that... And Rose and Kanaya were all, So that left them and their mere sidekick to sort things out amongst each other without interfering from a bunch of crazy effed up girls. I'm happy for them and for me too. If you hadn't been around, I have a feeling I would have gotten sucked into some weird BS with both of them. Sounds rough. Guess that's one more bullet dodge. Thanks to yours truly. I guess so. Geek. Was that above her head? Oh god, I'm talking about some more puppets. Actually, that's like the ghost thing. With a imp crown. From John's original world. Yeah, that looks like the fridge. You know what's really hard about their dialogue? The colors. Because Trezzy is like a light teal and Vriska's a blue, but they kind of are too similar to each other. So when I look at it, my eyes kind of bug out a little. Gonna miss you. Sure you had to get going so soon? Yeah, I really can't wait much time. Just had to get all these footballs scared away, then I'm off. Oh, is something wrong? No, well, not really. Nothing important. What is it? It's dumb. You'll probably laugh at me. No, I won't. Come on, tell me, what good is having a moral if you don't feel like you can talk to? I do know. I'm not sure I can even put my finger on what's bugging me. I feel like I should be psyched out for this battle ahead. Like pumped up to kill some bad guys. And finally end this. But I just feel a little weird. Especially knowing that you won't be here. What does me not being here have to do with anything? What if, when it's time to fight, and people really need me to use my powers or whatever it is I'm supposed to be able to do? What if it turns out I'm not actually that good? Aww. Self-doubt, I know that all too well. But you already proved that you are. Another version of you basically saved us all, remember? I know, but that was a different me. Who went through some things I never went through. And probably figured out how to be awesome and heroic along the way. I never did any of that, and I certainly don't feel awesome and heroic yet. And this probably sounds really dumb, but makes me feel guilty. Guilty? Why? Because she pretty much sacrificed herself to make things better. Specifically, better for me, I think. to let me lead a better life, presumably to fix my problems, I guess, but I don't feel fixed. I actually kind of feel a weird sense of pressure to be the best version of myself, like the most productive and heroic and well-adjusted Terezi in Paradox Space. But I'm definitely not that Terezi. Okay, but you're being way too hard on yourself here. I really don't doubt that's what the other version of you intended. That's not even how this stuff works. People don't just get fixed. Even if circumstances change so you have a smoother ride, you always are going to have flaws. I guess you should always try to be the best version of yourself, but I think it's also important to be okay with the fact that you aren't perfect. I've got flaws too, I mean, obviously, but I'm mostly okay with them. Wow, you don't say? Hey, shut up. I'm just trying to offer a little perspective here. Yeah, I know. You're right. I'll try to forget about this stuff and just focus on helping out the team. It'll be hard doing it without you, but I guess I managed to do it before. Even if I don't remember. Yeah, you'll be fine. I know you can do it. When will I see you again? Someday. I'll do my best to shorten the way for you as much as I can. Using time travel or whatever other nonsense I may have at my disposal. When all is said and done, I'll drop by Earth and look you up. I can't wait! Blather, babble, ramble, self-esteem, prattle, ramble, mumble, brave, alive hero, mutter, blither. Finally prove yourself, babble, babble. Tavis, would you leave that poor kid alone? What sort of nonsense are you telling him? So that's the other side of the conversation here, where they jumped in. It's interesting how that all is functioning out. So I guess this is the resuming the conversation of Dave coming in. I think I'll do this last one, and then I'll probably break for today. Because I don't want to necessarily, go super long today. So let's do this last one here. Oh, I did this one, did that one, just did that one. Yeah. We got the 4 of them now. Dave, we are sort of in the middle of something here. In the middle of what? A series of heartfelt conversations of personal nature. Oh, I guess I'm in the middle of those now too. I'm feeling heartfelt as heck. Somebody bone me up on this stuff. One could simply not be boned up on stuff such as this. You had to be there. Man, come on. Wizards, problems, feelings. It has your sent a tale to a strange beach of mothers. Any questions? Well, yeah, lots. Okay, can you maybe sit over there for a while and write them all down? Rose, this accumulation of people is coming dangerously close to what your culture might process as a human family unit. This is a foreign idea to me and probably a private matter to you, so I think I will leave you all alone and talk to some trolls. Personally, I think you should welcome Dave into the fold of your poignant wizard reverie. From my cultural point of view, at least, he has as much claim to a sense of ancestral connection to your mother as you. I'll see you, everybody. Bye, Kanaya. Yeah, man, Kanaya to the rescue with the smart stuff to say as usual. Utterly destroyed again by a superior sense of reason and decorum. Though I did wonder if her perspective would be different if she ever had to manage relationships with a twin brother. Yeah, okay, who cares about that? So, Rose, it's her mom. Hey, Mom. Hi. Well, not Mom. Your actual name, instead of that, I guess, is Roxy, I think. You think right? Mom's okay too, though. I didn't know. That might be a little weird, calling you that all the time. I mean, Rose, would that be weird? It would probably get a little weird. So, Mom, I'm just going to jump right into the frying pan here. Like, tape off a no BS zone for a while, if that's okay. A frying pan in a no BS zone sounds intense. Who is manning this pan and who gave me clearance for the no BS zone? Well, Captain Sirius is at the pan and he got the go-ahead from Lieutenant Doesn't F Around of the Heart Attack Armada. Is the Lieutenant lower the rank than Captain? Who put this dude in charge of such an important pan? I don't know. Maybe it is. Okay, it's cool that you even think that fact. But this is exactly the kind of screwy that no BS zone doesn't cotton to, no matter what sort of cookware is involved in which pseudo-military organization regulates its borders. I just have some questions about you and about stuff in general, so rather than mumble through a conversation that sounds mostly like the stuff we literally just done saying, sweet though that would be, I'm gonna machine gun some stuff at you lightning round style. A machine gun? Lightning round in a frying pan? Gosh dang. I know, right? So you're my biological mother? Yes. And roses? Yes. And therefore you bear at least partial, like biologically incidental responsibility for why we are both so screwed up? Yes. But you yourself are a paradox clone? I guess. Which means, you didn't even have bio parents. You originated from yourself? I guess so. So you really don't have anyone to blame for who you are except weirdly and paradoxically yourself. Yeah? Dave? Wait. Okay, I'm sorry if that sounded rude. I didn't mean it rudely. I mean, you did have a parental figure who I guess modeled yourself after in a way or were influenced by, I mean, an old version of Rose from a long time ago? Yes. And my brother was the same way, or your friend, I mean. Dirk. Well, he was a paradox clone of himself, and he, like, did kind of the same thing, modeled himself after. Huh? Why don't we, not talk about Dirk? Can we, change the subject? You brought him up. I know. Look, I bring up a lot of things, and then we had to backtrack a lot of those things I bring up, because sometimes the thing I bring up are ill-advised to say, or maybe just make them comfortable or make me uncomfortable. It's just a thing about me. Oh, just had a thought. Do I get to do a lightning round at you next? I guess so, yeah. Depends on if you want to keep sitting in the gosh dang pan. I don't know. Maybe our butts are getting too hot. Maybe you should, speak for yourself. Dave! Ah! Hello? No, Mom, look, Roxy, I mean, it's like I was just saying. I just say things that is just like this force of nature no one can control or even try to, least of all me. We just had to cross our fingers and hope for the best. And that, my man, one verbal slapstick routine isn't 240 in nature, at least not that often. Anyway, let's pretend I didn't just insinuate you have a hot bud and move on. I heard something about wizards. Like hex into wizards like Rose? Yes. Okay, well, that is a predictable and somewhat bland fact. Let's see if we can dig a little deeper. Don't get me wrong, wizards are okay, I guess. Oh, yeah? Well, maybe you're okay. Well, yeah, I'm alright. Wizards are better at magic than me, but I'm better than wizards at rap. So I guess it breaks even, or it would be if I was just a pretend jackbud in silly robes and dumb beard. So, the point goes to Dave. So, you like rap? Kinda. Dirk likes rap, so never mind. Forgot we weren't talking about that. Well, what do you like to do? I like cats. Okay, that's a fair opinion, but cats aren't actually an activity or anything. They, kind of work for me, though. I, used to clone them. I may have, gotten a little carried away. Cat cloning, huh? Well, that sounds like a pretty dope hobby. I think we're getting somewhere. So you had access to that kind of stuff because you lived in a sci-fi world? Sci-fi world? Yeah, you know the future. What was the future like? It's watery, full of chess people, lots of pumpkins. You know, usual dystopian stuff. I see. And it was just the chess guys and you, like alone, no other people except for bro? Well, I guess it was way off somewhere. Yep. Sounds like kind of a bummer. Yeah. I talk to my friends a lot though, via the computers and stuff. Man, that's cool. Me too. Maybe when it comes down to it, our lives weren't that different. Except for the extinction of humanity part. Our humans were just, imminently extinct is all. I didn't have chess guys around though. They're actually good company. Yeah. My best friend is a chess guy. He's the mayor. I'll have to introduce you to him sometime soon. You'll love the mayor. Everybody loves the mayor. Want to meet the mayor? Don't worry, I'll put in a good word for you. Pretty sure we can find an opening in schedule. Tell me more. More? About you. Dang, dude, this frying pan. Stuff is sizzling. Heck yeah. Aside from the cat breeding, how else did you pass the time? Writing. A fair amount of, let's say recreational liquid intake and, I'm hacking. Recreational liquid intake. That's one way to describe it. Haha, seriously? Like actually hacking? Yeah. Well, computer programming really. Hacking is just what you call it to sound cool. There weren't even much stuff around to hack. So, kind of like John, except I think he pretty much sucked at his codes. Really? Well, yeah. Seemed to find it frustrating mainly. His, complaining about literally only one point of reference for his degree of proficiency. You're good at though, right? I bet you're the best. The best. Man, I knew it. Maybe I could give us some pointers on the elite hacks? Well, heck yeah. He'd be all about that. Or I think it should be, which is all that matters. Do that and insist on it. If he gets really obstinate, like tries to pretend he doesn't like programming anymore. Okay. Man, what else? Oh, I don't know. Dave, I might be running around, out of stuff to say. Are you sure? I like to play games? Yeah, what games? Mostly the Nintendos. I see. Which Nintendos? Whole bunch of Nintendos. I like lots of different stuff, systems and titles. I don't know if the ones I associate strong with would have been the same mean, like culturally speaking for you. Because to me, they were all really cool ancient relics that kept me somewhat in touch with a world that was long gone. Well, that makes sense. I suppose the relationship I have now with garbage rom-coms. Largely because Carcat likes watching them. These godforsaken flicks have helped me keep me grounded on a dead civilization in a weird way. But regarding games, I didn't have Nintendos. My boo had the Xbox, so I played that sometimes. But he mostly had all these horrible skating games and like 20 different Tony Hawk titles. I would mainly just play them to screw around, like find spectacular ways to crash and flop around like a douchey rag doll, or figure out ways to get halfway stuck inside concrete fixtures and obstacles, and watch all these cool Friday bows twitch and plop ad infinitum, like struggling valiantly and earnestly forever against the horrible and deeply flawed physics of their confining virtual prison. Saw them as tragic figures. I think Dave would really like Burnout. The one I remember playing was Burnout, I think it was called Takedown. It was a really cool one that had, the crashes where you could slow down your car and you're trying to wreck as many things as possible to score the maximum amount of points. It was just so much fun. I didn't like Burnout Paradise at all because I suck at racing games. And Burnout's not supposed to be a racing game, and that's what they made it in Burnout Paradise. But Burnout Takedown, that game was so much fun. Where are we at? Tragic figures. That sounds terrible, to be honest. Pretty much. Do you think we can play games together sometime? Want to see your majestic scrapers in the element? Oh my heck, yeah. Dave, what? Okay, I think it's my turn. Keep your butt in the pan, buddy. You're gonna get grilled. Well, that's fair. Oh, Rose, please don't think I'm excluding you. Jump in the convo anytime, okay? Meh, she's fine. I am perfectly happy serving as a spectator and occasional officiator of this conversation. It's quite entertaining to behold, really. I love watching how different personalities collide with each other upon meeting. Neither of you is failing to disappoint. LMAO, God, is everyone in this family tree a psychoanalyst? Yo, that's been like her exact top preoccupation since she was a little baby. Didn't she tell you? Huh, no, but yeah, makes sense. But like, you're almost a funny interrogation right now. Rose is quite possibly a little therapist in training us, and Dirk is a Dirk. Just makes you think this is all. Well, we'll also screw it up in the end. So what you want to know, Mom? I mean, Rox? Here comes the lightning! You got to imagine it coming out my fingertips. Shh! Wherein I am an almighty wizard! Okay, I'm currently imagining that. Not bad. It's not bad at all. Pachoo! What, is your favorite rap guy? Well, that's a dead tie between me, myself, and Snoop. Guess it's a four-way tie, but it's cool. Also, maybe Obama, but to be fair, I don't think he raps in real life. That is maybe just a heckin' I have about him. But come on, you weren't actually curious about about that, were you? I'm trying to think of stuff to ask. Jeez, give me a sec. Okay, how did you become a god tier? Well, Rose and I went on a self-killing mission, piloting a moon through the furthest ring. The moon had a cosmic mega nuclear bomb in its core, and also our quest beds by surprise. When it blew up, created literally the biggest heckin' sun in existence, which also happened to be the exact same sun we thought we were going out there to destroy. But we also died and resurrected as god tiers, and I guess due to immortality rose up through the surface of the sun all glowing green and wearing pajamas and stuff. Holy gosh, that's so incredibly ridiculously insane and cool, and so much more awesome than what happened to us. Wow! Man, why? How did you do it? God, it's almost embarrassing to even describe, especially compared to that. Go on. We all had a hangover from magic candy and woke up in our godslide times and like talked for a while. Have you ever seen The Breakfast Club? new? Okay, what was like that, except worse. Then we all sort of randomly died on accident due to surprise villain attacks. Yeah, that sounds alright. Who even cares about having a baller origin story? We were just some chumps on the moon being melodramatic in the process of getting chumped up by the omniscient creep. Your outfit looks kinda cool at least. Thanks. Okay then, next, have you ever kissed anybody? What, man? These questions are taking on a different tenor than the ones I asked you. Well, yeah, okay, I was kissed by Jade when I was dead. So I would, come back to life. That was like right before the moon mission I mentioned. Oh yeah, I was corpse smooched once too. Corpse smooched. That's a term that exists in the Homestuck universe. Corpse smooched. I love it. Man, by who? Hey, it's still my lightning round. I was asking if you ever kissed anybody. Like, awake, alive, and on purpose. Man! We're waiting, Dave. Hey, I thought you were just studying us. I'm also officiating. I'll have to hold you to the question or throw a flag. Remember the sports? Might have quickly forget the sports. Ah, no, come on. I just asked about Nintendo and stuff. Okay. Do you like drawing? Yeah. Comics? Yeah. Funny comics? Heck yeah. About fat butt idiots and JPEG trash loss everywhere? Heckin' yeah. Okay, I'm gonna admit it. I have you at a little disadvantage since I know some things about your all future grown up self. Man, like what? I don't want to spoil it. There's better time for the conversation, and maybe you're a better person to have it with than me. Huh? Do you, like orange soda? Nah. No? Heck no. Then what's your poison? AJ. Huh? Apple juice. Well, that's cute. Pretty much. Have you ever been in love? Gosh dang it! Look at that face. Oh, this is great. This is the lightning round, Dave. We didn't make the verse. Anyway, am I ready to blow my referee sport whistle? TM. If you don't answer before the commercially endorsed game clock expires. Man, I think the lightning round's over. Why don't we have a distraction to seal the deal? Hey, Mom, I think Harley Dad over there is talking about you. Jake? Yeah, I think you're right. Gotta go, catch up with him soon. I'll wait for hello for now. I don't think he's noticing. Dang it, Jake, look over here, you goof. Kinda start a fire here with all this friendly waving. Nah, he's completely out to lunch. Just like all the Harley birds. Hi, Jake! Jake! Dang it, hi! Oh, sorry. Hi, Roxy. You're with us again, and I like that. That's it? He's right back at that with the bull guy? What's with him? He minds a lot of John, but really quiet, which is very un-Johnish. Jake's great, but yeah, he's not like that all the time. He has peak gregarious one-on-one, but I guess he doesn't like crowds much. He became sort of a hermit after a few months in our session. He mainly hang out with Dirk until he eventually sort of shut him out too. Dude just likes his loneliness time, I guess. Maybe I'll try getting to know him sometime. Maybe trap him like a shy woodland creature, then brutally harangue him with my typically rad stuff and become anti-bros right there in the sticking woods, exactly how nature intended. OMG, yes. I will help you rig your Jake snares. Maybe there's some hunky dude bait like a trail of micro shorts sprinkled throughout the forest. Awesome. Thanks, Mom. Roxy. Dave, even I'm having less trouble referring to Roxy by her name consistently. And I was the one who grew up knowing her as my little mother. What is going on with you? None. Just like semi-accidentally replace a word with another word in majority of instances. Why do you need to read things into everything? You're right. How could anyone possibly read anything into that sort of repeated slip-up? Sounds like he really misses... Yeah. Exactly. What if you're making her uncomfortable? It's fine, really. I think it's sort of endearing. See, Rose, y'all worrying about nothing as usual. Mom's fine with it. Moxie. Rami. Mommy. Wait here. Okay, the asshole was messed up. Let's make sure I never say that one again. I'm dying here. Dave, stop it. I'm asphyxiate. Man, I can't. It's like I was saying before. This is a force of nature we all gotta just deal with. Try to his blurtscapades. Dave's flying boner circuits. This stuff's immutable. I had to face this cycle a long time ago. I could either go try to change that part of myself which is an unwinnable war, or I could try to focus on being a vaguely half-decent person, or at least the stuff I inevitably put out from deep down isn't all that bad. Because the bad stuff has been and is still being purged through an arduous long-term process of complete and utter humiliation. Man, arduous long-term processes of complete and utter humiliation are basically my aesthetic. Anyway, you're still a silly dude, and it's okay if you keep calling me mom on accident. I hope it is similarly okay with you if I ever make the conscious decision to refrain from calling you that ever. Unlike Dave, I've taken great pride in the meticulous maintenance of my internal filter. I don't think I just have the same luxury he does. Humiliation just makes my demons angrier. Yeah, Rose, call me whatever. But LMAO, you got a way of making that sound legit scary. Man, it's screwed up that she's joking, but she's also not really. You'll figure out how to crack her deadpan riddles. There's an art to it. You guys, you're freaking psychobabble. It's a riot. Suddenly feeling like maybe I'm in the weak link of this family tree on the analytical front. I need to step up my game. To be fair, Dave's game is pretty flimsy. He's been jacking my swagger for years. He only pulls it up because he's funny. And to be unfair, I'm not actually much of a psychoanalyst. I know just enough to know that I barely know anything and probably would have benefited from, I don't know, college or something. Oh, whoa, I feel a bit less lame then. I remember Dirk's insane scrutinization of all things cerebral and had a similar way of dwarfing one's ego. Maybe that was smoke and mirrors too, I don't know. Maybe since he and I are your parents in terms of psycho skills, he's got all genes and I got none. So that means Dave got some genes and Rose got lots. When some is more than none and lots is less than all. Huh? That's quite the scientific way of looking at it. Maybe it's even true. Yeah, I effing love science! Okay, well then that explains everything. What? If you got all the science genes, then that means some great thought for me. To explain why my beats are all so ill, it's because my science is off the charts. Holy heck, can someone come push this nerd off the lily pad? That explanation though, haha. Cringeworthy rap notwithstanding, I do recall hearing him babble about wanting to be a scientist on more than one occasion. If the world hadn't ended, what was it? Archaeology? Paleontology? Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. Whichever involved more dead stuff, maybe. Paleontology? You want to study that? Why I sincerely mumbled about the idea once or twice, sure. Well, that's neat. What about you, Rose? Did you actually want to be a legit psychiatrist and go to school and all that for that? I don't really recall my thoughts on higher education. My passion for the subject, I think, was a more contrivance of a very young girl with misplaced conviction and abilities. I probably thought I could just figure it out on myself and skip the academic coronation. I don't think much about it anymore. Possibly because there's no one left to analyze except for the modest population of this fog disk. What would you want to do with your life instead? I mean, assuming there were no more evildoers to worry about. I don't know. What is there even to consider doing with godhood but concern yourselves with evildoers? And what about your quest? Man, the stuff with your planning, the rain and stuff. Wasn't there still something there to do? I guess so. Yeah, I did mine. At least a version of it specific to my situation. I get the feeling that they change around and much depending on what the lay of the land is. My reality was so screwed up by my dad's it just kind of rerouted me. It's nothing too fancy. Well, yeah, exactly. I did this really stilted like mashed up of what I assume my real quest was. Like involving breaking a sword and unbreaking a sword, and a bird was involved, and then the bird unceremoniously died somewhere. It was kind of a mess. Like me, I guess so maybe that made sense. Who knows what yours would have been in store for now? I mean, if you even wanted to bother. I'm not sure if I had the inclination, and realistically, there isn't much more than that for that, is there? We're supposed to be fighting adversaries imminently. I can't squeeze it in before the battle. And before, well, supposedly one, so that would even be the point of it doing then. Something always rubbed me the wrong way about my quest. I don't really like the phrase. It's uncomfortably formal and a little foreboding. I think the retribution of it all always struck me as unpalatable. Like consigning personal growth to me as a completion of a glorified myth-heavy rat maze. Yeah, I know why you feel that way. You got big problems with authority. You always have, and you probably wouldn't even put it that way because it sounds really teen of you and quash or whatever, but it's true. OMG, you guys in your shriek babble, it's so funny, I swear to God. Yeah, here we go again, right? Except, just remember, and I'm a fraud at this stuff. Except, in this particular case, I'm totally right. She sees this quest all neatly laid out for wrapped in a bow. F, it even looks like it's made for little kids with like pink turtles and rainbows and stuff. Like here you go, princess's baby's first quest. Almost like it was designed to tick her off. Suburb says here, self-improvement delineated, made incomprehensible, enjoy your cookie cutter odyssey. So because she's Rose, she goes no act my quest. Literally starts wrecking stuff. And maybe that itself was always a quest. If I may interject. Oh, awesome! Visca was eavesdropping. Not for very long. I just heard you talking about what the quest is all. I don't have any opinion on whether you do or not, Rose, but that's your business. My advice is if you see a dancer, just make sure you kill her fast. Ow, what? Believe me, Cetus is a huge jerk. If you give him an itch, she'll try to sucker you into a whole boring conversation, mostly involving a bunch of curmudgeonly riddles. Don't give it a chance. Just go for the juggler and end as soon as you can. Grab a loot and call it a day. That's what I think, at least. There's so many bother going on to see it all. Couldn't really blame you if you didn't, though. I probably won't. What? Oh, now what the heck is this? Meow. Oh, dear Lord. Friglish! Oh my god, you chicken bastard! OMG! What the actual heck? Friglish, I can't believe this. You dug up her body. OMG, that is so bad. But you're also sweet of you to bring him back, but also, wow, bad. Wait, dug up. I'm gonna click clear on that myself. Jasper's hasn't been actually descriptive. Meow. Yes, both those I dug you up. From where? John's planet. Remember the funeral I mentioned? Friglish was there too. Jasper's. Our dead-departed beautiful idiot cat. I guess I made a nervous mistake. I turned my back on the body. You had a feeder for me. That was nice of you. Yeah, so, hi! Wow, this is confusing. Welcome back, you're alive again. Hey, come here. Hold on, don't touch her. Effing incredible. I'm not the only one here concerned with making sure we don't create freakishly mutant people combos. What? She's the only been single prototype, don't go near her. Oh, right. It is absolutely astounding how much you all need me around to keep yourself straight. Even though it's a constant uphill battle to keep all of you from screwing up. I let my guard down for 1 second and this this animal wastes one of your precious resurrection slots on someone who's already alive. Well, congratulations, you're down to 1 empty kernel. Be sure to use it wisely. Not that there's much hope of that at this point. See you, chums, I'm out of this conversation. So, what does this even mean now? There's like 2 roses and like, what the heck? What are we supposed to do with this information unfolding static circumstances? I don't know, Dave. I have advanced seer powers and the newly acquired insight of a mystical god, and even I'm stumped about this turn of events. Okay then. Good to know I'm not dumb and this Lily is inherently rational. Thanks, Ghost Cat. Great job. So, what now? Well, it's nice to be back after such a peculiar sequence of tragic events. Even though I have no memory of being gone for long, but I also understand I'm now the subordinate Rose. So with respect to my ongoing role, I will have to defer to Villos. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Then again, I don't have feet anymore. Lol. It's also worth pointing out that my programming as a sprite informs me that I exist at the pleasure of the player who released my kernel. So, Roxy, what do you think I should do? Wow, I don't know. Man, I was only just met, Alive Rose here, and that was just after just burying you and saying goodbye and all that, which was, emotional thing, and now you're back because of a silly cat, and I don't know, I'm confused. Rose, what do you think? Rose? Yo, Rose, hello? This is so stupid! I'm sorry. I can't sit here and pretend to take this seriously. Man, Rosa, you okay? I guess so. Yes, I'm fine. This is just so dumb. My powers let me see fortuitous outcomes, but I don't see this coming at all. It doesn't register as fortuitous or otherwise. You know why? Because it's completely meaningless. I mean, sure, I thought so too when Bird Dave happened, but that turned out to be like a whole thing, and important stuff happened as a result, kinda. No, this isn't like that. Trust me, Dave, I'm not grasping at straws here. My abilities tend to not leave such things to speculation. This development makes absolutely no sense! Not for us as a group, and definitely not for me personally, or her for that matter. How could this possibly mean anything for my growth or personal development in any way? This almost makes it official. I have no comprehensible path. There's nothing to overcome, no lesson learned, no cathartic like at the end of this preposterous tunnel. Not for me at least. I seriously had the dumbest arc anyone could conceivably imagine. Rose, we don't have these arcs, we're just human beings. Alright, so we made it to the end there. probably a long episode because that one took a while. But hey, we got through 4 of these and we got 3 left. If you like what we do here, don't forget to hit that thumbs up to like the video and subscribe. I'd much appreciate it, my dear friends. And I love you all so very much and hope you have a wonderful, fantastic, amazing, awesome day. And I'll see you again on the next episode of Homestuck. Until then, so long and take care. Thank you for watching this video and being the #1 YouTube community in all of YouTube. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you would like to see next. I always love to hear from you. And remember that you matter, you are brilliant, and you are loved. Always be true to yourself and never let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly, feathered, flightless bird.